What's up, guys? SirAllAboutMusic here. I'm gonna do my 200 subs answer video. This is the answers to your questions. So let's get this started. Garfield 11, Garfield Fan 11. What are your top 10 bands of all time? The first three are fixed: Led Zeppelin, Cake, and Radiohead. And those three had a really large impact on how I listen to music, and they pretty much shaped and crafted the way I view and the way I listen to music. Those three. The last seven are constantly changing, and there's bands that are going in and out all the time. But right now, they're the Flaming Lips, Nirvana, Robert Johnson, Queens of Stone Age, REM, Yes, like classic Yes, like Wakeman, Howe, Anderson, Squire, and what's his name, Barry, and the Toadies. That's what it is right now. So that's with that. Metal Massacre 45. What album changed your life? I would have to say, this is a hard question because there have been different times in my life where I've listened to albums and they've changed. They really have changed my life. I mean, I've had this experience more than once. When my parents got divorced, it was Nirvana's In Utero. I mean, I listened to that constantly, and it really changed my life. At other times when I first got introduced to Yes, that changed my life. But really, it would have to be Led Zeppelin's House of the Holy, because that was the first Led Zeppelin record I listened to. And I've said before, and I'll say it again, I would not be here right now listening to the breadth of music that I do if it wasn't for Led Zeppelin and if it wasn't for that record. That record definitely made me expand my musical horizons, and so that was the album that totally changed my life. Doggy Dog 56789. 56789. What is your favorite Nirvana song? This one was kind of hard because I have like three, and I had to pick between them, and I got it down to two, and I just can't pick between these two, and it's between Aneurysm and Curmudgeon. And Curmudgeon is a B-side on what single? On some Nirvana single, and it's a brutal fucking song, and it's awesome. It's awesome. And I just can't pick between those two, honestly. Aneurysm is a great song, and yeah, Curmudgeon just it's vile. It's almost, it's like a song that just sounds disgusting, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Okay, so, and here, of course, I knew this question was going to come up. Seco 1, 5 most guilty pleasures. Please, sir, time to fess up. Alright, I'm going to give you 3, because I'm so conceited. Honestly, I'm a pretty conceited person when it comes to the music that I listen to, and I think that a majority of the music I listen to, everyone should. This is what it is. Creed. I'm a huge Creed fan. I shouldn't say that. I'm a fan of their first 2 albums. Their third album, Weathered, I wasn't too big on it. I haven't listened to the new one. But their first 2, I love. I love their first 2 albums. And, you know what? I really don't care what anybody has to say about that, because if you listen to the first 2 albums, there's great songwriting, there's great performance on there. I mean, yeah, it's cliched, yeah, it's, lame nu metal crap, but it's fun music, and it's cool. I like it. Michael Jackson, that's a hard one. I don't know if people would consider that a guilty pleasure. But where I grew up, where I come from, Michael Jackson is a guilty pleasure. Michael Jackson is a very guilty pleasure. I love Thriller. I mean, it is arguably the greatest pop record ever made. I mean, Thriller is it's legendary. Everybody knows it. And number 3, I'm gonna have to look. I didn't actually think about number 3. I just, guys, I'm just that conceited. I'm not even lying. I am that conceited. I would probably have to say, Enya. Yeah, I love Enya. I honestly do. I think she's awesome. I remember listening to Enya while driving through the Appalachian Mountains, and that was just, her kind of music in that kind of setting was just perfect. So that's what I consider to be my guilty pleasures. Whether that's true or not for some people, I know that some people are going to disagree and say, no, everybody should listen to those. I think they should. Well, maybe not Creed. Anyway, moving on. Chicken 420. What is your favorite musical instrument? Well, that's easy. I play guitar. You know, I'm kind of biased towards the guitar. But I used to play tenor saxophone. I think that's a pretty cool instrument, honestly. I really like it a lot. Puke on My Shoe 2130. Who are your top 3 biggest influences when it comes to your own music? Well, obviously Led Zeppelin. Because they are the most influential band on me as a person. So it's definitely them. Kings of Convenience, that was the band that got me interested in acoustic guitar. Before I listened to Kings of Convenience, I was like all blues, rock, metal, you know, distorted. And then I listened to Kings of Convenience and I was like, wow, you can actually do some beautiful, creative, amazing things with just an acoustic guitar. So definitely Kings of Convenience. And then I'd probably have to say the Flaming Lips. Yeah, definitely. Just because whenever I write music, a lot of the time I deliberately try to write strange melodies or things that aren't, you know, that don't sound cliched, and I'm pushed to that because of listening to the Flaming Lips and learning their songs. You know, their music generally isn't all that weird. It's the melodies that are put on top of it that make it so different. And once I figured that out, you know, I really tried really hard, and I still do, to write interesting melodies to go on top of what otherwise would be pretty boring, you know, standard stock chord changes. So definitely those 3 bands. Keymaster 2, the most obscure, weird, yet very enjoyable albums you own. This one was weird because I don't really own a lot of obscure albums. I'm not in touch with that kind of thing. You know, for a large portion of my life, the music that I was introduced to me through the radio. So, but probably the most obscure stuff I have is probably the Harsh Noise that I got on here, and I got a lot of Harsh Noise, and not a lot of people listen to it. The Sleep Sessions and what was the other one? Like Nachtgekanger. It's some German Harsh Noise guy, and a couple of others. That's the obscure stuff. I don't run into a lot of Galaxy 500 fans either. I'm a really big Galaxy 500 fan. I got some Galaxy 500, and you know, I can't say the Butthole Surfers because now I know there's a lot of Butthole Surfers fans out there. And those are all very enjoyable albums. I like those all. So yeah, let's deal with that. Last question, Keymaster 2. What would you consider to be your top favorite records? This one's hard. This one's really hard. I'll give you my top 3. Led Zeppelin. It's got to be a Led Zeppelin. I'm a huge Led Zeppelin fan. Led Zeppelin's Presence, which is, and I will not argue this with anyone. If you post a comment saying that no, it's not, I'm just going to ignore you. Led Zeppelin's Presence, the single greatest hard rock album ever made. No argument. The single greatest hard rock album ever made, Led Zeppelin's Presence. Number 2 right now would have to be, what am I listening to a lot right now? Would probably have to be Mudhoney's Super Fuzz Big Muff. I've been listening to that a lot lately. It's definitely in my number 2 fave right now. And what's something else I've been listening to a lot lately? This is man. These top favorites are really killing me, man. And Everclear, Sparkle and Fade. Which is a great album, and I've had it for a while, but I recently came back to it and have been listening to it a lot lately. And again, that list changes, except for Led Zeppelin's Presence. That has always been my number 1 favorite album of all time. You know, it depends on what bands I'm listening to at the time, really, on what I like the most. So yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Thanks for sticking around for the whole video, and I love you. Thanks for the 200 subs. You guys are fucking awesome, and I'll see you next time.